All right. Hey, everyone. It's Marshall Atkinson with Atkinson Consulting. Welcome to another episode of Forward Progress. And today it's my distinct pleasure to have my editor for Screen Printing Magazine. I don't know how many of you guys know that, but I have a column in that magazine. I've been writing for them for a couple years now. And I have my editor, Adrienne Palmer, with me to just chit chat about some stuff. So how you doing today, Adrienne?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thanks, Marshall, for having me. I'm excited to be here and chat with everyone and chat with you.
Yeah,
It's nice
and
to
so
see you.
tell everyone what you do, where you live, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, sure. So I'm the editor-in-chief of Screen Printing Magazine. You probably know us through our digital edition and website and social media platforms for the screen printing industry. Where I live is a tough question right now. We left San Francisco at the beginning of the quarantine. We quarantined with my family in Ohio, bought a house in Florida, but are now back in Ohio as our house is being completely renovated and they need us out of it. So
Really?
I'm still living in a suitcase.
I'm a Florida boy. Where in Florida?
It's Lower Grand Lagoon, which is technically Panama City. It's really just
That's great.
yeah, it's right by the beach, and yeah, it's been fun to be there in the summer, but now we're not there and kind of kicked out of the house. So back in
Yeah.
Ohio.
Hey,
Long story short.
I recommend you get flood insurance. Just saying.
Our house is on stilts. So
Okay, hurricane insurance. I'm from Florida. I been through a million hurricanes, and it's hurricane season right now. As if you're following Delta, you know, right? I'm sure you're looking at that.
I am, yeah, we had our first little bit of a scare and I thought, okay, it's really just rain and wind. You know, we have our boards up, we're okay. But then in the middle of the night, all there were tornado warnings and we're on stilts. So I thought, okay, where do we go?
Right.
Luckily, we were okay. But yeah, definitely a lot to learn now being a Floridian.
Cool. So, hey, that's fantastic. And we're going to get into some topics, but I want you, if you're watching right now, please say hello, like my friend Alan just did. He said hello. Hello, Alan.
Hey, Alan.
Can't wait to talk to you tomorrow on our show, Q&A with Alan and Marshall. But if you're watching right now, I want you to say hello and where you're from and all that kind of stuff. And if you're watching this recorded, which is where most people watch, please drop a comment and say hello there also. We wanted to make sure that we can include you in some stuff. So that's always kind of fun. So anyway, you ready? Daryl Garcia from California says hello. Good job, Daryl. Thanks for watching. So you ready to get going with some topics?
Yeah, bring it on.
Do you remember what the first one was?
I think we're talking a lot about change today and adapting and yeah.
The constant need for change. And you have a unique position in the fact that you really came into this industry as a writer. You didn't really work in a shop. You're in the journalism kind of writing communication track, right? And now you have to manage a bunch of knucklehead screen printers that are writing for you, right? And everybody's talking about change. And so the reason I wanted to talk to you about this is because you have an outsider's viewpoint in, right? So what are you seeing and what are you, because I know you keep up on this because that makes you a better editor. What are you seeing? What's going on? We've had a couple months of weirdness and we're thinking about holiday, but a lot of people are thinking about Q1 already. So what's your opinion on this? I'm very fascinated to find out.
Yeah, well, one, yes, I am somewhat of a newbie to this industry, but everyone has welcomed me with open arms and I couldn't be more appreciative. And I will say, Marshall, you are now part of this too, the brand new editorial advisory board for Screen Printing.
I made the cut.
You did? So we have 15 board members who I believe are just industry experts. I know are industry experts and have really helped me in this last year and a half, and are just so knowledgeable about the industry, and also just so forthcoming with, what's working in their shop, what's not, what people can learn, the new technology we need to be paying attention to. So I'm so grateful to have that sounding board and really listen to what you all have to say about the industry, because without, your knowledge, then I'm not able to share as much with the industry, especially with trade shows not being here. That networking, I really feel like this group has been so great, and so I would say definitely pay attention to what they have to say in the coming months. But yeah, in terms of change, I think that is just the term of 2020. Everyone had to pivot. Everyone had to adapt. And I really do believe that if you don't adapt and you don't change, then you are going to be left behind. And I think at the beginning of this year, I think that the companies who didn't have an online presence were the ones really hurting, or they found the time to really have that online presence, because without being able to send your customers products through an online platform is really going to be a struggle. And so I think that there were a lot of shops that I was in contact with that were actually helping other shops create online stores, even if it was just one-page website. So again, the network within the screen printing industry is just so great. But I did see that was such a major change. And also, there was definitely nervousness at the beginning of this year that things were going to go south quickly. And luckily, by June, July, everyone I spoke with, they were almost a little not embarrassed to say, but they didn't want to brag about it. But everyone seems to be doing really well. So in the garment business, it seems like people pivoted, and that led to a positive change for them.
I really agree. And the people that are coming out of this have made inroads into doing something differently. They're looking at more what their customer problems are and how can I solve that problem for the customer, unless, hey, I'm a screen printer, I can print some shirts, right? And so there's people who've completely changed their percentage of makeup, their client list. They've gone after different people. They switched to print on demand or digital, or they're doing more with online stores, or they're ramping up fulfillment, or they're just doing a whole bunch of new things. Mm-hmm. I think it's really because they're engaging with their customers about the change that they need. And I know I spend a lot of time talking with my coaching clients, and some people haven't really done a good job with that, and they're really stuck and they're hurting with some different things. And it's because they haven't done the work yet. Doesn't mean they can't do it. They just haven't done it. And so we just need to keep pushing, making changes, and being and like trying new things. Yeah. And really looking at, just because your customer base is this doesn't mean that it doesn't have to be that forever. And before the show started, I was telling you a story. I was on a podcast with a business consultant guy in Boston a couple of days ago to promote my book, Moving Past Disaster. And it was a great podcast. And he was saying, okay, he was giving me an example. And I guess, I don't know if he's trying to trip me up or what, but he goes, okay, so my favorite bar down the street closed down. How would you have helped them? And so I was saying, well, first off, the problem here is that they think of themselves as a bar instead of as a business. And so it's the labels that we put on ourselves. And this is true in our industry, because we think of ourselves as a screen printer or an embroiderer or whatever label we apply to ourselves. And, you guys are a magazine. Does that mean it has to be printed on paper? Right? Does that mean it even needs words? Because could a magazine just be 20 videos? This edition, right? Maybe there's no words to it at all, right? What does magazine even mean? And so if we kind of think about what we're doing and how we can change to make things better and meet people to where they need to be, I think that we can adjust and do some really positive things. And if you look at the businesses that are really starting to thrive, starting to come out of this, they've made the changes necessary and they're having the success, and that's just that's just kind of what I see.
Yeah, because I think if you don't listen to your customers, that's your number one problem. And then you can always, like course correct if it doesn't work, but you really never know until you try. I mean,
Right.
Just like you mentioned, with Screen Printing Magazine, yes, we were a print edition for decades, and we made the decision to move to an all digital platform with our June, July issue. And, this was a huge decision and something we didn't take lightly, as we know how important print is. I'm, a dedicated journalist. It was hard to move away from that. But, after surveying our readers, which are like a screen printer's customers, speaking with them and realizing, those major benefits to a new digital edition and the platform we have, we knew it was the best change needed for our audience. And because we were able to host videos within the page, like you have in your column, the content can be as long or as short as we'd like. There are tools that are interactive. So if you want to show, it's no longer a static page or a digital edition that, only links to other websites. So you can see that you can click there and it plays a video.
Hi, I'm Marshall Atkinson.
There you are.
About the skills to pay the bills. So I did a whole presentation.
Yeah.
Right? So we go through it like
Give it an attitude.
So there's a whole presentation that accompanies the article. And I think what's really cool here is it's more than just what I've written. It's now a presentation style thing that accompanies it. And is it on the, here's another one I did. This is last month's, right? Need for Speed, wasn't that last month?
Yeah.
And here's 6 tips I'm giving.
Hi, I'm Marshall Atkinson.
And am I wearing the same shirt on both of them? That's crazy. You think that's my only piece of clothing? Hey, remind me not to wear that same shirt, okay? I just now noticed that. Oh my God, how embarrassing. All right. Woo, look at that. So that's funny. So anyway, so I think
it'd be really bad if you were wearing the same shirt right now.
Yeah. Look, I've got a collar on. It's like I'm an executive or something. So I think it might be fun for everybody that's watching right now to maybe post one change that you've made, or maybe something that you would like Screen Printing Magazine to write about for change. Maybe there's an article idea that you could kind of share. And then I can't promise that we'll do it, but maybe that could be some fodder for something, right? So
yeah, for sure. I'm seeing some of the comments. I don't know how to respond, but hey, Cal.
You can talk.
Okay, I can just answer.
Let's just start at the top. So Daryl's watching from Salinas, right? Cindy says good afternoon. She's watching from Odessa, Texas. And guess what? She's watching from YouTube. So thanks, Cindy. And then Ink Chemistry Screen Printing, I forgot your name, sorry, is watching from Michigan on YouTube also. Hey, please share your name so we can call you out and thank you, whoever you are. And Cal says, hey, Adrienne, good to see you.
Hi.
And then Alan's making fun of me for wearing the same shirt. So anyway, so list some stuff, will you? Play along. So
as you mentioned that, Marshall, if anyone wants to actually write an article or do a video for the magazine or have suggestions on what we can cover, I'm always open to them. So you can reach out. You can follow me on Twitter at Adrienne_screen or send me an email. It's I can maybe read in the comments if you have it, but a lot of ways to get a hold of me, and we can always chat about what's best for the magazine and the industry and our readers.
Yeah. Hey, Carlos says, hey. Good job, Carlos. So there's a constant need for change. And I think even before the pandemic, we were always talking about change. And I'm a big process guy and operations guy. And one of the things that I'm big on is the whole notion of continuous improvement, where we're always trying to get better. And I talk about that a lot. Let's get 1% better every day. What can we do, right? So that's the books that you read and the people that you follow and that kind of thing. And have you ever heard of the it's a pretty famous thing where you're the average of the 6 people you hang out with the most?
Yeah.
Right. And so in this industry, who are those people? So in this industry, who are the 6 people that you network with the most? I'm talking to the watchers right here, viewers. Who do you hang out with the most? Do you hang out with people who really know what's going on? Or is it that guy that you think is a drunk? I mean, just like who are you hanging with, right? And I think that could really dictate your future a little bit. And what are you reading and who you're paying attention to?
Yeah, I think a good way to do that is, we talked a little bit about it during ShirtLab earlier this year, the summit. When you're on social media, who are you following? Who are you interacting with? What is your platform look like? And those can be people that you really look up to, or your top 6 networkers. But I think for Instagram, for example, just going through that and finding people that you want to be like, or you communicate with the most in the industry.
Yeah, I totally agree. And today is Thursday, and in our ShirtLab Tribe community, we had Jeremy Picker with Amber Creative. He did it was over an hour on how to create and sell and do stuff on Pinterest. And it was such a fascinating video. And if you're in Tribe, you should watch that today if you weren't watching live. I mean, look, I've got a whole index card full of notes that I'm fixing to redo my Pinterest page on. And I can't wait to get started on that. Like I need another thing to do, but it's all about change. It's all about learning something. And I learned some stuff today. So
Jeremy Picker is also on the Screen Printing Editorial Advisory Board.
Oh, that's right.
In the last August-September digital edition, he wrote a feature, Concept to Print, and he works with Danny Gruninger from Denver Print House. And there's a video and a step-by-step guide of really like making that design and tweaking it, and then when it's printed, and then making tweaks after that with special effects. So it's definitely something that you should take a look at. You can watch it, you can read it, you can flip through pictures. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. He did a whole thing on creating a mood board when you're working with a new client, just to map out their style and their voice and colors and all that stuff, and using Pinterest, and just really click. It take you 10 minutes. Here you go. You're done. Right. And your client's like, holy cow, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And they think you spent hours on it. Right. And it was just such a fascinating way to approach things. And
if you were lucky enough to be one of the top 100 registrants for the Women in Screen Printing Awards virtual event, you will be receiving a Women in Print shirt designed by Jeremy, and he sent us a mood board that he created for that. And so that was really cool to like kind of be on the receiving, the customer end, to see his process. So stay tuned if you were part of that.
Did you like it? Was it cool?
Yes, I can't wait to share. I think he actually posted on his social media. I think it's either his personal or maybe even at Amber Creative, if anyone wants to take a look. It's a play on Wonder Woman and the squeegee. So
cool.
Check it out.
Yeah. So I would be following Jeremy. It's Jeremy Picker, and Amber is spelled with the number 3 instead of the E in Amber. So AMB number 3R. And he's primarily on LinkedIn. He's on LinkedIn all the time. But I would be following him on Pinterest, and he's such a great guy, and happy to share stuff. Let's get to our new next topic, which is really the future of information delivery, right? You guys are a magazine. What is going on with you guys? And let's talk about the future of magazines and stuff.
Yeah. So as I just discussed a little bit, with the digital edition change, that was really big, but we had to pivot to what was best for our customers. And I think that is really what everyone needs to look at. So, for us, delivering information, it really depends on the person and how they access their information. And so we have to be a lot of different things for a lot of different people. So for example, maybe someone who's printing shirts all day, they may prefer to listen to a podcast or listen to someone read an article, which I know, Marshall, you have that on your blog. And so, a graphic designer who has access to a computer, they may make the time during the day to read a digital edition or a website article. But, someone who's on the road, maybe like a sales rep who's just constantly moving, he may be on his phone and just may prefer newsletters, through his email. And so I think the issue that we're dealing with right now is, and we're just seeing this in media as a whole, is that everybody wants the information immediately, and it really doesn't even matter if it's true because it can be edited or changed later. I really don't like this way of thinking, but I guess I understand the desire to have information, immediately, right away. So it's really figuring out, what is this expert information that we can get delivered at a faster rate, but also still be looked at it as that like true expert, within the industry. Who are we having to write our articles, and are we really fact checking and making sure everything is correct? And I mean, there's pros and cons with this. I just think it needs to be fast in a content delivery platform that works for your customer or for our case, our readers. And I think we just need to constantly be fact seeking.
Yeah. One of the things that I've done with my blog, and I'll just share this real quick, is I have this is called Amazon Polly, which reads the article.
Mm-hmm.
I also have been posting interview videos with people in the industry.
So, of course, it's picking up where I left off last time. But, so it's like one of these things where it's showing, it's reading the article. And I know some of my readers for the blog, they quit reading it months and months ago, and they just listen to the article now.
Right.
And so are you guys doing any sort of technology adoption like that or looking into that?
Yeah, we're definitely looking into that. That's something that we've added to our list for our website. As many of you may know, ST Media Group was acquired by a new company, SmartWork Media, in the past couple weeks. And so talk about change. I'm coming up on my 8-year work anniversary with ST, and ST is a 100-plus-year-old company. And so to be acquired has been a big change, but, we're looking at it positively and optimistically because they have a lot of resources, especially on the digital side, that we haven't been able to have. So those are part of the conversations we're having now. So podcasts and the listening ability and a lot of things that are really digital focused. So yeah, you have to, because not everyone is, even if you get the magazine, you have to take the time, you're reading it through. So we're really just figuring out ways that make sense for our readers. Yeah.
Well, remember, it's all labels. So instead of readers, just start calling it the audience.
Yeah. Which I know readers has been ingrained in my brain forever, but it really is audience. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all labels, how we look at things. Right.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be very interesting as we move forward with technology, how things change, how things adopt, who remains relevant. Right. And and of course, let's also state that you're also the editor of Big Picture magazine also, right? Yeah. Which is wide format, right? So some of you guys might get that because you're wide format folks. So, you wear lots of hats.
Don't we all?
Yeah. All right. So where are we on time? So we got some time for 2 more topics. So new ideas. So Adrienne, what should we be paying attention to right now? What do you think?
Yeah, a lot. I think some things that we mentioned, pay attention to your customers and what they want. Pay attention to the changing technologies and trends that are happening. So, we're not able to go to trade show floors, which, you feel like it kind of eliminates that factor of finding new things. But there are so many platforms out there. ShirtLab is one of them. Future Print, which is a virtual summit coming up, Printing United, their digital platform. So we're still going to be able to stay on the cusp of new products and new trends. It's just in a different way. And I think we talked about this earlier this year during the ShirtLab Summit and just how important it is to be a brand ambassador and really capitalize on the free social media tools that are available. So I would pay attention to that a lot because everyone is at home now. everyone's on their phones and on their computers, not just for personal use, but for professional use. And they're just sucked into a screen, and you can really capitalize on that in terms of selling your product and finding new customers, and then really showing, who you are as a company. I feel like there's so many screen printing shops that have hired video teams to, capture behind the scenes work at shops, or, well, I guess was at trade shows. But I feel like you can utilize the Instagram story tool, or even TikTok. I'm learning about that now because that's where the younger generation is. And it's just like a great way to market yourself with video.
Right.
Yeah.
So to me, where we should be paying attention is what our customers are doing and what do they need. And I think we really need more engagement. And it's no shock, I'm a big proponent of human to human marketing, which is what we're doing right now. Yeah. Right. Last time I checked, you were a human, right? So and then all of my audience here, they're all humans, right? We're all in this big thing together, and it's really about getting information out to everyone in a fun and informative way. That's the reason I do this. But at the end of the day, I'm a business coach. I'm a consultant, right? So this is giving me a platform. It's giving me the chance to talk to different people and do some different things and learn. I learn all the time from folks, right? And but it's at the same time, it's marketing, right? So it's hitting a lot of buttons. And I think a lot of times for people in this industry, they spend a lot of time showing the process, how a t-shirt was made, what you should do, and that kind of stuff. And that's all fine and good. But at the end of the day, I don't think our customers really care how the t-shirt was printed. They don't care how the sausage was made. They just want it by Friday. So if you're really thinking about making a bigger impact, think about maybe creating social media tools or your own show or a webinar or a podcast or whatever on your customers' problems. So for example, you could do a podcast in your area about small business needs, and you're the host of the show, and of course your shop is the sponsor, and then you have on all your customers, right, as guests, and they're talking about their bar or their bank or their hardware store or whatever it is, right? And then you're having these people, and it comes out every single week. It's just a half-hour show, and you're promoting it. And what's happening is now you're engaging with your own market. You're engaging with your customers. People who aren't your customers might be listening, and they go, I wonder how I can get on that show. Well, you need to be a customer, right? And then maybe that gets your foot in the door a little bit, right? So it's just about trying to do new things and reach beyond, you know what, I'm going to post a pretty picture with a 3 for $10 t-shirt ad, right?
Yeah,
and could be great, crazy effective, but maybe you don't have to discount to get work. That's my whole point.
Yeah, I would also say, just in terms of trends or applications, something that is just really prominent right now, and I know I'm closer to it because of the wide format sector, but there's a lot of screen printing opportunities in it as well. That's the interior decor market. So everyone at home this summer, has been renovating their house, updating things. So I think that the interior decor market is something that screen printers really should look into as another opportunity to branch out and make some more money and gain some new customers. So that's definitely something I suggest looking into.
Do we only have to screen print t-shirts? Can we screen print a block of wood? Can we screen print a sign? Can we screen print a pillowcase? I mean, what can we do here, right? You could be doing more than what you're doing. You've got the equipment, right? So don't think that, you just have to use a bill of canvas blank and that's it, right? You could be doing more than what you're doing.
Yeah, there are a lot of applications out there for sure.
Right, and even, a DTG printer, you can DTG different substrates. It doesn't only have to be a t-shirt.
Right.
So
if you're looking at interior decor, you can look at curtains and pillowcases and anything that's really customizable. That's what everyone is looking for right now, something that's unique to them and that their house is going to stand out from something that maybe you just buy at like a Lowe's or a Target.
Well, maybe unique to the area, right? So maybe in your wherever you live, there's a famous tree or park or a flower or whatever, and everybody likes that thing, right? If you're Florida, like you're a new Florida resident, so maybe everything in your house is going to be pink flamingos. I don't know. Right? It could be seashells because you're living by the beach, right?
Right.
So whatever you could be developing your own line of this stuff, and that's what you could be marketing instead of just the normal t-shirt stuff, right? You've got all the equipment. Just think about how you can pivot and do something new, and then maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Right.
Yeah.
But you're doing something new, and that's developing another income stream and how you can diversify and all that stuff. And that's on an Etsy store or a Shopify store, and you're just doing some different things. And
yeah.
We got a great comment here.
I was going to say, read
Cal says, I host an old school car show every Sunday of the month here at my shop parking lot. Different car clubs come from miles to show off their cars, but also get a tour of my shop. It's been a great way to get new customers. Good job, Cal.
Yeah, that's
Love
great.
that. That's an awesome idea, right? I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, that's that's bringing in customers that you would never have typically. It reminds me, I'm working on an article right now, which will be in the November issue of Screen Printing. One of my coworkers was in Tarpon Springs, Florida, getting a tattoo, and she realized the tattoo shop is also a screen printing shop. And so I've interviewed the owner of this, and it's like, because screen printing is an art, and also tattoo artists obviously are artists too. And so we talk a little bit about how people come in for a tattoo and then end up becoming customers of screen printing, or vice versa. So yeah, you don't always have to be just that one thing.
That's kind of interesting. I love that idea. Okay. All right. So what's last topic here, and it's a doozy. You ready?
Sure.
Handling disruption. So to me, disruption is, COVID-19. We were all kind of trucking along, happy. I was having a fantastic year. And let me tell you, the last trip I took was March the 5th. Right. And then everything kind of just went down the drain, and then April was the worst, and we've kind of had to climb back out. And right now it's everything we're doing is so disrupted right now. And we don't know where it's going to end. And I think, like I was just reading online that the Miami Dolphins just approved to have full stadium seating today. Right. So there's going to be, for like anybody goes to those games. But anyway, I won't get into that if you're a Dolphins fan, but I feel your pain. I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, and I'm not happy. So it's like one of these things where just think about, what's going on and what we've been doing, and think about holiday coming up, right? I don't think I'm going to a store, right? Everything's going to be online for shopping. And how is that going to work? And won't my family know that we've got Christmas presents when they're at the door?
Yeah.
How are we going to keep things a secret? So I don't know how it's all going to work, right? And how, in these vendors, how they're going to get everything out and get it shipped on time and all that. And Black Friday and Cyber Monday and just all that disruption mess that's happening, that's fixing to happen, or that is happening, right? I'm very curious, if you're watching right now, what are your thoughts on the disruption that's going on? What are some changes that you've made? And what are you really dreading? Just gnawing at your gut right now. Can you please write a comment or share something so we can kind of loop that into the conversation here? So Adrienne, what do you think about this stuff?
Yeah, I mean, kind of like I said earlier, if you don't change, you can really become stagnant or be left behind. So it's, either disrupt or be disrupted. And when we talked about, when you said this was going to be the topic, I remembered specifically being at a conference. It was the Wall Coverings Association a couple years ago. And I had to look it up, his name, because I kind of forgot. It's Michael Dominguez of MGM Resorts. And he said to have control is to have the ability to give it up. And I thought that was really like that's stressed now. And just that, a good manager or a good leader, allows conversations around change with their team, or is open to the fact that this year has just been such a major change. And I think that we kind of get stuck in tradition, and there's nothing wrong with tradition, and there's nothing wrong with maybe the way that things are going. And so maybe just like respect that, but like still be able to grow. So I think this year was a forced change, and not, maybe we didn't want it to happen, but it's happening. And so maybe we'll just use this in future years to know that, if something does really shake up the whole industry, like we can still power through because we were able to change with it, and we were willing to. And then maybe if things seem stagnant, like maybe it's time to disrupt something, and maybe it's our time to change something for the better.
And I want everybody watching just to think about stuff. Any major improvement in anything was caused by somebody doing something ridiculously stupid where everybody thought, well, that's not going to work, right? And before we got on the show, Adrienne and I were sharing about how we shop for groceries now, right? And my wife, we're just hanging out watching TV. In fact, we were watching the debate, right? And she's grocery shopping on the iPad. And of course, she just pulls into the grocery store, and they come out, put it in the van, and then she drives home. And the whole time she's on the phone with her sister, right? And you do something different. What do you do?
Yeah, I'm a bit more lazy. Yes. So yeah, we do everything on the app, and then contactless delivery. They shows up on our doorstep. 2 days ago we had groceries delivered, and my fiance went for a run, and he was so surprised that it was there already, because he felt like we had just ordered it right before he left, and then they were here when he got back, like put away and everything. It was like magic.
Yeah, well, that's good for him. He didn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
So the point here that I'm making is that, in, I don't know, February, would you have ever ordered groceries online?
I love going into a grocery store. I enjoy it so much, but I have not gone grocery shopping since beginning of March.
Do you think you'll go back to doing it that way?
I mean, I've been inside like a Target to just pick up something quick, and it's kind of been this weird, like, am I supposed to be here? Are other people supposed to be here? It's like this weird feeling. Yeah, I think I'll go. I don't know. That's a really tough question, because it's become so easy, and now it just feels like this is the way I do it. So
yeah, right. So the point I'm trying to make here is that you can invent something that just seems totally, groceries being delivered. What am I, 90? I can't go to the store. Who's going to want that, right? And I remember a couple of years ago, I was working for Visual Impressions in Milwaukee, and one of our customers, we printed, I don't know, probably 50, 60,000 shirts for this company called Shipt, which is an app that goes to the grocery store and picks out and buys all your groceries for you and delivers it to you, right? Yeah. And their T-shirts are like Kelly green with a white logo, right? And that's what we were printing. And so there was this concept that was before its time, right? And I don't even know, this company may have just exploded, and or maybe they're out of business because you can just do this with a different app now. I mean, I don't know, right? I haven't really followed them, but the point I'm trying to make here is, in your area, in your neighborhood, with your customers, what's the sticky point that you think that you can solve that's going to make their life easier, and think about how they're not necessarily saving money, because I'll argue that it costs you more money for your groceries than mine, right? But it's saving you time, and that's the reason why you're willing to pay more for it. So time,
because it does cost more. I pay like a $10 subscription fee for free delivery. So
yeah,
free delivery.
And
so it's better you can pay more for that extra benefit.
And is the price of the groceries the same as if you walked, like, you ordered a bunch of bananas? Is it the same price if you were in the store?
I don't think so. I'm not telling anyone. I don't want to think about that.
Yeah, your mom might watch, and she'd go, Adrienne, what are you doing spending that money? So anyway, the point I'm trying to make here is that if you save some people time, there's people that'll pay for that, right?
Yeah.
So what are you doing for people that's going to help you out, to help them out, that they can save time? Because maybe you've curated the idea, or you make it really easy, or you do something and you take the friction out of the experience. And for grocery shopping, it's somebody does all the work for you, right? And you can multitask. We can like goof off on the iPad and pick out, we need some ketchup and a can of green beans, and what do we want? We want chicken wings on Thursday, right? And then it just adds to the cart. And so I think that's a very interesting thing in our industry. What does that mean? Does that mean that we can curate stuff with designs, or the shirt, or we can have different tiers of customers, or we can do some stuff with their inventory, or we can manage their online stores, or we can, what can we do that's really going to save our customers time and really take the headache and pain away from them, and then that we can, monetize that somehow. I think it's going to be very interesting. The further we go down this, you're seeing a lot of stuff right now with print on demand, right? Which is all these Etsy and Shopify stores and Amazon and that kind of stuff. There's no inventory, right? It's just that, hey, I like that design. They're just stocking the blank shirts. It gets pulled, it gets printed, it gets packed, it's shipped. That stuff is shipping the same day a lot of times, right? Yeah. And so that's going to be the future of, a lot of this stuff. So what are you doing right now in your shop to really capitalize on that, or even look at it as a viable thing for you?
Yeah, it's like streamlining for yourself, but also streamlining for your customers. Yeah.
So anybody have any comments on that? Throw that in. Would love to hear your thoughts. Don't be chicken. So, and while we're waiting, I'll just take this opportunity to thank Adrienne for her time today, but also for Screen Printing to sponsor ShirtLab Forge, which is coming up October 23rd and 24th. If you haven't reserved your seat right now, it's an online virtual thing. There's presentations. It's not an interview style like we did with Summit that Adrienne participated in. These are actual presentations, and this whole event is all about e-commerce. So if you have an online store with Inksoft or Printavo merch or Order My Gear or Etsy or Amazon or Shopify or your own website or whatever you're doing, this whole event is about how you can sell and market better for e-commerce. And frankly, the level of speakers that we have for this thing, I can't even believe that we got these folks to do it. It's just shocking to me still. And these aren't just local, some guy I know in the neighborhood. I mean, we've got speakers from England. We got the head of marketing for SEMrush. We've got Jeffrey Gittimer's doing a live presentation on Saturday that's just going to blow you away. And he's doing Q&A at the end of it. So he's a best-selling author on sales, and his whole thing is about how are you coping with the pandemic and what are you doing for your business right now. And this is all about online sales. It's all about how you're competing and how you're selling more. And the cost is either, you got two options, $197 and you're in, or you can join ShirtLab Tribe for $49 a month at our founding member rate, which is going to go away at the end of Forge. And let me tell you, when we started ShirtLab tribe, Adrienne, Tom and I, that was back in June. Remember you participated. Our goal was to get to 100 members by the end of the year. And 2 days ago, we got our 102nd member.
Awesome. Congratulations.
So we're early.
That is
so we're very excited about it. And if you're part of ShirtLab Tribe, thank you so much. And you got to enjoy Jeremy Picker's thing today on Pinterest. So, but if you're not, you should really look into it. You can go to ShirtLabForge.com, register for the event, join ShirtLab Tribe, and be a part of something special. It's a dedicated apparel community all about making you better. That's what we're about. And Adrienne and Screen Printing Magazine are one of our media partners, and they're really helping us get the publicity and the word out. And we certainly thank them. And
yeah,
you guys rock. You guys rock. And I was so bummed that we couldn't do what we had planned for the ShirtLab Women's Nexus, because we had schemed beautifully for that, I thought, and it didn't quite work out. So
I know. Well, like we said,
I want to share what we were going to do. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course, yeah. We can always do it next year.
Huh?
We can do it next year.
Yeah. So let's do it next year. So what we wanted to do was ShirtLab Live in Chicago. That was the Women's Nexus. Was going to be this past June. And we were going to have the announcement that there was even the awards, that they existed. And Adrienne was going to come up, and I'm sure she was going to say something really inspiring. And then at Printing United, which is this month, they were going to announce the winners live at that event at the women's luncheon, right? If I remember right. It's funny how life works out, right?
Yeah. But we still were able to announce the winners virtually 2 weeks ago. So if you go to screenweb.com, you can check out, if you go to screenweb.com/womenprint, there's the announcement of the 6 winners for the 2020 Women in Screen Printing Awards. And you can learn about the winners. They will be featured in the October-November digital edition of screen printing. So as you can see, the 6 winners are there, but we're really going to focus on each one of them individually in the upcoming issue. Yeah. So definitely check that out. And also you can watch, if you scroll down to the bottom, you can watch the video of the virtual event, so you can kind of feel like you were there if you weren't there. Right. I give Marshall and Tom a shout out at the end for giving us the platform to announce the awards during ShirtLab Summit. So yeah, I wish that we would be able to celebrate in person at Printing United during a super fun VIP cocktail event, but we had a really great time during the virtual event.
That's okay. The next time we're all together hanging out, I'll have a cocktail with you and we'll celebrate.
Absolutely. I think we'll be having lots of cocktails, celebrating lots of things in 2021. We'll just be happy to be in person, seeing each other.
Yeah. Okay, great. So, all right. Well, that's going to wrap us up today. Adrienne, thank you so much for your time, and really appreciate your support with everything that I do. And you rock. So thanks.
Thanks, Marshall. I appreciate it. And I'm super happy to be involved. And everyone on here, make sure you read Marshall's next column in the October-November screen printing issue. We're going to do something special there, specifically talking about the women in print movement and community within screen printing. So thanks for having me on. And it was good to see you and be part of this.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate you guys. Adrienne, don't go anywhere, okay?
Okay.